So I've been stating a few different stats in most of my presentations for the past year or so, going back to studies from 2022, 2023, and now 2024. What we see over and over and over again is that people are really, really bad at detecting deepfakes. And one of the stats that I put in really big letters is 21.6%. And that's from a study from 2023 where people were warned that within the next 5 videos, they were going to see a deepfake. And the 21.6% is the accuracy percentage of people trying to pick out which one was the deepfake.
Ouch. Okay.
Which means about 80% of the time they're getting it wrong.
Yeah.
Which is not good. That means we live already, and for the past year and a half or so, have lived in a place where people don't know what's real or not reliably if you're creating a good fake. And one of the things that I showed last week on LinkedIn that got a lot of attention is just how easy it is to turn into somebody else. So like if I hit this magic button and I shift my background to something else, we're really used to that in Zoom. But with the click of a button, and this won't change my hair, but for anybody watching, you'll see my face just change in an instant to this is my boss's face at KnowBe4. Of course, I could switch to like Nicolas Cage really quick. And, you know, with a couple touch-ups, if I wore a hat or something to fix the hair, all of a sudden it becomes way more believable. And we're very, very used to like glitchy stuff and things like that because we're, you know, in these environments where people are doing background replacements all the time.
Oh,
and yeah, you're literally just like watching me shift through face after face after face, and it's that quick now. And it's like directly integrated into Zoom.
The shadow of your glasses on this one is actually being projected down onto your fake face.
Exactly.
That's wild.
And like if I were to switch faces, you know, one of the interesting things you see is that like they are all very light reactive.
Whoa.
Everything else, there's nothing really that gives away that you're in a fake environment really easily now, other than some of the delay and some of the little digital artifacts that you might see. So I think we're in this place where more and more and more we're going to be seeing people show up in Zoom calls and things like that as deepfakes. So I'll go back to myself really quick.
The second to last face you did there, Perry, looked so real that if you joined a call and I wasn't like very familiar with you, I would have believed that was like a real person just using a bad background replacement. Yeah.
Was it this one?
Yeah, that is very convincing. That is very convincing. Holy smokes.
And and then other than my hair and my background, well, you're not seeing
even
my
your
actual
hair.
Background. Yeah, it looks like it fits well. So
you look like your name is Marcus.
You know, the power. What?
Nothing. I just said you look like your name is Marcus. Like you just look like a plausible person, just a different person.
No, this is a guy named Devin that I know. He's a chief information security officer at a company that I won't disclose.
That's a trip.
So all of these, if you're watching, these are single faces where I just downloaded an image from the internet and now I can cycle through them at will. So that's neither here nor there really related to the overarching thing for the story, because if I wanted to really use this technology the way a scammer would, I'm not necessarily always going to be trying to impersonate a celebrity or CISO. Most scammers are just trying to become a plausible, different person that looks attractive so that they can execute a romance scam.
Right.
So they don't need to become a familiar person. They just need to become a different person than their normal face so that they can then engage with people online. But one of the things that came to my attention this last week was a new study that is going to be at the heart of a lot of the problems when it comes to deepfakes, which is that, again, people have a really, really hard time telling the difference between reality and fake faces and images and voices right now. And what we even saw is that super recognizers, this is a category of people that first kind of hit the spotlight around 2019, I think, with some studies. And a super recognizer is somebody that really just recognizes faces instantly and can remember faces and details very well and can understand people's emotions really well and understand if they're lying or not. There's, these super categories of people that just inherently are very, very good at that.
That was a law enforcement thing, wasn't it? Where they did programs where they would like train people or try and find people with that innate talent and train them to perform this role of super recognizer, right? That's like been an established thing.
This is kind of mixing a couple different studies. So the study on truth analysis or deceptiveness is, I think, predates this one on super recognizers, but you can see how like the research fits together really well. Mm-hmm. And what they found is that when it comes to people like me, I'm very bad at recognizing faces. Like if I watch a deep fake video where somebody swapped a video, I'm like, I can't tell the difference lots of times. They look that, generic to me. People's ability to recognize faces is largely genetic, and research shows that 70 to 90% of differences between individuals are explainable through genetics. So the fact that I can't recognize faces very well is, I'm just predisposed to that.
It's your parents' fault.
Yeah, it's my parents' fault. Human brains and eyes have evolved to recognize identity faces, but discriminating between different people is a conceptually new task. This makes processing unfamiliar faces, such as for forensic purposes, it's relatively inconsistent and is prone to error. But that's what broader security officials, they want to manually check passports or identify that at scale. So they say that super recognizers are an exception. They were discovered in 2009. So I said 2019 before. I was only 10 years off. Mm-hmm. During the research to develop a test for face blindness, which is a word that I cannot say. How do you say that?
Prosopagnosia.
I think that second P gets softened.
I bet you it's proso also. Prosopagnosia.
What they were hoping to see is that super recognizers, these people that can discriminate between faces really well, are going to be also super recognizers when it comes between authentic and synthetic faces. Turns out they're not, which means that we now have another human frailty when it comes to discriminating between real and synthetic faces. But they do offer maybe a potentially good note towards the end. What they're starting to say is that if we start to train models on real people and then train another model on synthetically created people, like people that are on this person does not exist, or using a deep fake system like I did, then maybe those systems will naturally try to, you'll gamify that. You'll run it through a GAN the way that you would image generation or anything else really. And then maybe you get this super recognizer class of computer systems or AI systems that are just very good at that because they've seen so many and accurately predicted in their pre-training so many synthetic faces that they just have an innate ability to go, that one's real, that one's fake.
That's cool. And that's a very interesting idea. There's also something I'm wondering, and I wonder if it was covered in this study, of when they tested super recognizers against deep fakes, did they test consistency of like deep faking the same subject? Because like consistency across generations has been a longstanding hurdle that we cross in AI image and video generation, that consistency. I would imagine if anything, super recognizers would have the ability to notice that there's differences between like multiple generations of the same deep faked person. Did it cover that? Or did it show they didn't?
I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to read past the article and actually read the study, which I didn't do. I just, kind of read the summaries and thought that was interesting.
It is.
Now, one other thing I want to touch on before we go is that, again, when it comes to deepfakes, I think the game is changing a little bit. And this was something I sent to you in Discord yesterday. There's this company called Nari Labs, which introduced DIA, which is a 1.6 billion parameter text-to-speech model designed to produce naturalistic dialogue directly from text prompts.
Oh, it's so cool.
And it is really, really good.
Yeah.
To the point where if I heard a conversation that was generated on it and didn't know that it was fake, I would think that it was real. So here's an example, and I'll hit play here.
Dia is an open weights text to dialogue model.
You get full control over scripts and voices.
Wow, amazing.
Try it now on GitHub or Hugging Face.
Wild.
It sounds like you hear a microphone being put down, right?
Yeah, there's even handling noise. Yeah.
They also have this comparison. So here's the same sentence that's spoken through 11 Labs.
Here is an open weights text to dialogue model.
You get full control over scripts and voices.
Wow, amazing.
Try it now on GitHub or Hugging Face.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound bad. It just sounds stilted, almost like people are rehearsing for a radio ad.
They took a pretty unflattering example for 11 Labs. 11 Labs can do better.
There's some cherry picking for sure, right?
But nothing like what you get out of Dia right away. It's immediately so emotive, and you can control like multiple speakers in one prompt at a go.
Exactly. Here is one other example of a script where you have two different speakers, one just saying, hey, how are you doing? Pretty good. What about you? I'm great. So happy to be speaking with you, and so on. So here's what that sounds like.
Hey, how are you doing?
Pretty good. What about you?
I'm great. So happy to be speaking to you.
Me too. This is some cool stuff, huh?
Yeah, I have been reading more about speech generation.
Yeah.
And it really seems like context is important.
Definitely.
Wow. I have been reading about speech generation. It took a speech pattern that I have. It did it just chose to do that.
Pause where it's thinking for a second about how to phrase something. And then here's some lines from The Office that you may have to, you'll have to bleep one of the words.
Okay.
Oh, fire! Oh my goodness! What's the procedure? What do we do, people? The smoke could be coming through an air duct.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody, stay calm.
What's the procedure?
Everybody, stay calm. Everybody, calm down.
No! If you touch the handle, if it's hot, there might be a fire down the hallway.
I mean, it's really impressive. There's obviously, it's not flawless. It's not absolutely perfect, but it's really good.
But it sounds like, though, is that it's overly compressed. Mm-hmm. If I heard that, I wouldn't think it was AI generated. I would think it was just bad audio.
Absolutely. And the fact that, nothing is specified here about intonation. It's just speaker one, this, speaker two, this, and then maybe a laugh or something. But it's not screaming and then this.
Laugh or coughs and, in little parentheses, and the model knows how to interpret this. Now, the thing is this was like 2 grad students with no funding.
Oh, wow.
And no prior knowledge of AI.
Really?
That's the story. And they've got a model that, in some circumstances is outperforming the top models that exist.
That's
wicked. I'm going to do
cool.
one more example, and then I know that we need to end this segment, but here's one more.
Hey there.
Why did you just cough?
Why did you just sniff?
Why did you just clear your throat?
Why did you just laugh?
Nicely done.
Wow. Wow.
That sounds like people rehearsing for a sketch comedy,
It
right?
sounds, it's very naturalistic. It's very expressive.
I'm going to do, even though I said that's the last one, I'm going to do one more because I haven't listened to this one.
His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy.
There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti.
He's nervous, but on the surface, he looks calm and ready
to drop bombs, but he keeps on forgetting.
What he wrote down, the whole crowd goes so loud.
He opens his mouth, but the words won't come out.
He's choking how? Everybody's joking now. He's
a little bit of
it just kind of fizzled out at the end.
Glitch at the end, but it doesn't sound like Eminem.
Some tests that were, it doesn't sound like Eminem, but it did have rhythm, which was interesting. We did some tests with it yesterday. Nothing extensive, but found that it's interesting, fun, surprising, quirky.
I didn't know that it was just 2 grad students who made it, which makes it it was already impressive. Now I'm even more impressed. It's very cool.
Yeah, crazy. The 2 guys in the garage model that just had motivation to get something done. We're going to see that over and over and over again with AI, I think. We're also going to see sort of the opposite, which is where people don't want to put in the time to learn about what they're doing and just want to let AI do it and release products to the public that are code that they don't know how it works. And it's called vibe coding. And the next segment is all about that.
This is the FAIK Files.